Hello, and welcome to Pandering Hour.
Deal with it. Never do this. Never, ever. Not a good idea. Don't do this. This is way better. What top 10 killer cucks? If you like putting stuff in your butt, that is your right. And don't worry about straight or gay. It's not about that. It's about your own satisfaction. For you. For us, you're gay. Hello and welcome back to Pandering Hour. I am your host, Anthony Martin, and today on Pandering Hour, we're going to be discussing Serbia, and I have my friend Nikola from Serbia. First off, I wanted to touch back on this because I know this sounds very silly, but when you said that earlier when we were talking casually that, like, you changed apartments. Like, what? And I'm looking at these pictures right here. Let me pull this up in a separate tab. But, I mean, looking at these pictures right here, it looks very pretty. Serbia looks like a beautiful country.
Yeah, definitely it is.
I know it's a very old country.
Yeah, we're actually one of the oldest countries in Europe. Yeah, we have like descendants from maybe, I don't know, 300 after BC, right? Something like that.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, we are pretty old people, pretty old culture. Yeah, the photos that you're looking at are from Belgrade.
Yeah.
And from Niš. Yeah, the city
Belgrade,
below.
the capital right here.
Yeah, the Belgrade is the capital of Serbia, right?
Yeah, I was expecting it to look more, like barren, wastelandy type. Just because I had gotten Serbia confused with Siberia, and I know that that's where people send people, like, for prison. Like, it's like
yeah,
like
where bad people go, yeah.
Yeah, like that's a very, like, in every James Bond film, they're like, oh my god, they've sent him to a Siberian prison, you have to break him out, Bond, right away.
Yeah,
what's
it's nothing similar.
What's the relationship with Russia like? Like, is that a McDonald's? Wait a second. Do you see that?
Yeah.
That's a McDonald's.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a McDonald's, right? Well, the relationship with Russia, basically we have this bond which is not defined or anything. It's just because they are Orthodox and we are Orthodox too. And there are a few countries in Europe that are Christians but Orthodox, So basically every country in Europe are most Catholics. So when we are connected with that bond with the religion, I think, and we're really similar with the language, with the letters. So yeah, I think that from there, it's the connection we have with them.
Interesting. My buddy, so I think I told you about how I almost died, right?
Yeah, you just mentioned it, but you didn't tell me about why you were at the edge.
Oh, I found out I had an autoimmune disease that was trying to get rid of my heart and lungs. And so I had been dealing with it for about a year, and they ended up having to take 2 liters of fluid out of my chest through the sac that holds my heart. Basically, there's this sac that holds your heart, and it became inflamed, and it's basically like a squeeze, like a constricting. So it hurt a lot, and my body was trying to fight whatever was going on, but it was fighting itself. So it was causing the problem and then trying to fix the problem by causing an even greater problem. And so this kind of cycle continued for about a year until I got to this point where I almost passed away. And that was pretty freaky. I mean, I kind of saw a little bit of the other side. It's very interesting. And funny enough, I ended up having 2 friends who were Orthodox Christians, who were telling me a lot about God around that time, and I was speaking to them about, like, hey, I'm not feeling so good. I kind of think I'm gonna die, Like a couple months before I went into the hospital, I had this thought like this might kill me. And yeah, it was very very serendipitous. It's a very strange coincidence that I would happen to bump into these two people right before almost going to the hospital and almost dying, and then seeing a lot of things that questioned what I thought prior, and now kind of inspired my current faith. Um,
So
but
everything is good right now.
everything's much better. Yeah, I got on a cycle of very very difficult medications. Um, and I'm off all of them now, and so far so good. I do occasionally get like little feelings in my chest where I think maybe it could be coming back, but it's really hard to say. Um, and I have scheduled visits with my doctors, but so far I've been fine. If anything came back up, I'd go straight to urgent care. Um, which, by the way, I should ask you about how hospitals work over there. Do you guys have free healthcare?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's a lot different than US, right? So we are everything is free here. I mean, we have like a public and private sector of health, hospitals and clinics and stuff. So when you, for example, when I was a kid, I was my father was paying the insurance for me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you join college, if you're studying, when you join college, then we have like that's a little bit. Uh, it's like a separate thing. We go to the clinics for students, and since we have like a limitation up until 26, 27 years of age. If we Yeah, but by that the college covers our health insurance, and after that you're on your own. I mean, you have to start working. If you start working, then you're paying like with your taxes, you're also paying your insurance. But if you don't, then again, I mean, you can be registered with, for example, your father, your mother, or your wife, or anyone that's in your family.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, if you don't have a job, or you got fired or something like that, we have a bureau where you go and you register yourself there, and they supposed to find you a new job based on your qualifications and your education and everything. So while you're there and you are unemployed, they're like paying some kind of insurance. I mean, they're paying the whole insurance. If something goes wrong at that time, you will be able to access every level of hospital care, you know.
Right.
So basically, it works like that. We're covered. That's not expensive. We can afford that. That's something that doesn't take a lot from our budget. So I think that healthcare is something that is really covered good here in Serbia.
Well, that's fortunate. I mean, that's like one of the biggest complaints in America is like there's
Yeah,
just it's just not. I mean, my hospital bill. Um, like I said, I was in and out of the hospital for 3 months. The first hospital visit where I had the most significant procedure, it costed $40,000. Now I had insurance cover a lot of that, but if a lot of people don't even have health insurance, so that's an impossible bill to pay. It's the number one reason for bankruptcy in America.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's really scary, and it's stuff like that that make me wonder, and kind of why I want to talk to people is like, is there hope somewhere else? Like, is this as I said before, like America views itself as the best place in the world, and in some ways I do agree with that, but in a lot of ways I'm like this could be done so much better, and it's the main reason why I think people it's what I would hope people get into politics for, but ultimately people usually get into politics to launder money or like do corrupt things. Which also, if they had told me that in school, I probably would have been like, oh, that's not a bad job. All right, okay. So the point is to take bribes. That's a great idea.
I think that America and United States, they're offering the most opportunities, but I'm not gonna say that. I don't think that it's the best place to live, to be honest. If you don't have a strong job, strong position with a good paycheck, I think that from my perspective, I mean, I never went to United States, but from experience of my friends and colleagues that have been there, I think that if you don't have enough money, America can be really, really tough. If
I
you have a lot of money, then you can enjoy pretty much.
I agree. There's an expectation for you to be constantly working. Like it's funny that employers it's actually pretty controversial right now, but employers won't pay you enough to like have a living wage, but they also don't want you to have a second job. Because if you have a second job, you're less dependent on the first job, and they don't like that. And it's this like dichotomy of like, well, you don't want me to thrive, and you don't want me to push myself to have a better life, when that is kind of the expectation. Like that's kind of what everyone's saying across the board is like, you need to work hard to have a better life, even if that means getting a second job, even if that means starting your own business, even if it means doing all these extra things. But at the same time, the people who have made it up into like the corporate ladder and up into these higher positions don't want that for you. So it's unsettling. Um, you
I,
said you don't think America is the best country in the world. Who is? Serbia?
well, for me, yeah, it depends on what you're looking for. I mean, definitely, I want to grow out here.
Hmm.
Well, when I finish my work, uh, when I go to do the pension, I would like to live here or maybe some sorry, Southern Europe countries, for example, Greece, Italy, Spain, something where they have a good beaches and good play. I mean, it depends a lot from what you're looking for. I think that Serbia is really great for we're living, we're really close, we're really familiar. Not familiar, sorry, that's a phrase in Serbian, and we're really close, and the family is something that's really important to us.
Where's your
Also,
hometown?
my niche,
Niche? Is that
yeah,
this one right here?
yeah, that one.
Okay. Because I kind of want to see Serbia through your eyes a little bit. Like, what can I look at here in Niche?
Yeah, well, you can look at a lot of stuff we have. As you seen, that's our river that kinds
Who's this guy?
that separates. That's our King Milan.
King Milan?
That we had a lot of wars in our history, like a bunch of them, a bunch
Oh
of them.
wow. You guys have great mustaches.
Oh yeah,
It gets cold in Serbia, right?
that's not true. I mean, that's not totally true. In the lately, like in the past few years, the summers are really, really hot. I mean, I'm not sure how familiar you are with Celsius, but we had 2 weeks in July that the temperature was over 40 degrees Celsius.
104? That's insane.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean that's pretty hot.
That's
Uh,
awful. I'm so sorry. I hate the
yeah,
heat. I'm originally from California, like Los Angeles area, and then I also lived in Austin, Texas. I'm
mhm.
done. I'm done with the heat. People say this about Portland, that Portland is like a rainy, sad city, but it's been in like the 80s and 90s for like the last month or so, and I hate it. Like it needs to get colder. Like I need the cold. I've had plenty of sun my whole life. I'm done. I'm done with it. Every time I start to like getting like sunshine, where I get like a little bit of like warmth and sun, and it's like I'm over it. It's
Too
over.
bad.
Yeah, bring the rain back.
It's pretty tough. So yeah, in the winter we had like 0, 1,
Oh,
zero. Yeah, sorry, -1, -2. It comes to
ooh, that's cold.
yeah. It's. I mean, we basically have when you put the four the autumn, the spring, summer, and winter. When you put that on Google and the pictures that you can see, that's basically here in Serbia. I mean, we have all four.
Another McDonald's.
We
How is the McDonald's there?
Well, the McDonald's here is the funny thing that, for example, here McDonald's is something expensive, you know. It's
Really?
like in, yeah, yeah. Actually, you have to have like pretty decent money to have something in McDonald's. I mean,
Really?
it's not something, yeah, that poor people can eat.
What's the average wage in Serbia?
Average wage, I think that, yeah. Before I say anything, I will see what's,
Monthly earnings
yeah,
is $1,000, or
yeah.
median net salary is 72,000 RSD.
That's not true, basically. I mean, I have tons of friends working in a public companies where they should earn their wage. For example, my best friend, she's working
Wow.
as a teacher in a high school, and her pay is like 950. It's a little bit lower than 1,000.
Hmm.
We have like, for example, here for our, costs and our life here, IT sector is the with the most money. They offer some pay that for Serbian for Serbian costs are, they can have a pretty good life here.
The thing that I'm realizing about America is that one of the reasons why the people are treated so poorly is because these corporations are multinational, and they're not American. Like, they're not trying to enrich the country. They're using it as a hub because we offer the best terms for these corporations. But ultimately, they don't belong to America. They're run by Americans, but they will travel to whatever country they need to get the kind of wealth and the kind of, net operating income that they desire. Like, they are completely wealth oriented, which obviously makes sense. Like, you have to be the best corporation, best, business. Why would you not make that decision? But the answer is that you're not looking at the people. You're looking only at like the numbers, the buildings, the structure, and even yourself. And I think some people have gotten to the point where they're like, well, I mean, if I have to be removed for the sake of this company, like, some people put themselves aside and some people don't. And I think people like, I don't know, definitely people like me, I just can't, like, it's just the worst job in the world to me. Like, I just sit there and I'm just like, this is awful. And unfortunately, I
You're
have a couple.
slowly dying, right?
Yes, it's like I am. I mean, I had the opportunity to gain a position working for property management under J.P. Morgan Chase. So someone like
Hmm.
me working underneath one of the biggest banks in the world, um, that survived, the 1920s stock market crash, and managing real estate underneath them is just vile. Like, I was like, oh, how much more disgusting can I get? uh, I criticize myself very harshly because I view this as like basically, like, it's not. And now I'm not killing anybody, but it's like being a Nazi for money. Like, this sort of like consumering grinding that I'm doing to my fellow man, where like I've evicted people, I've been sued, and all in the pursuit of someone else's wealth. And it it hurts my heart because all I want to do is make jokes. Like, I just got the job for the health benefits, and I'm very grateful that when I had the job, I got very sick. Because if it wasn't for that, I mean, I'd be paying $50,000 in bills. But those things, those $50,000 bills, are a result of this consumerism and this mass, this never not mass, but like this never-ending pursuit of wealth. And
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's capitalism. I mean,
I think I'm becoming a
that's
communist.
basically
Is Serbia a communist country?
no, no, no.
Okay.
It was long time ago, but it's right now.
Yeah, I don't think I can become a communist though, because I do think that that doesn't work. Because you're telling people you need to be. It's almost like telling someone to be nice. They're gonna be like, no, why? But if it makes nice things less important. Like sharing, when sharing is expected, it's not nice to share. Kind of like in America, we really value niceness, and so like if a celebrity is mean or if a business owner is mean, we tear them apart. But it's because it's so competitive. It's like that's not necessary. There's no need to kick someone while they're down because they're already. I mean, they just lost their job. They're about to be homeless, and that's. You got me talking about this place. I want to talk about you. Let's talk. I was looking up apartments in Serbia because I wanted to talk about
Uh-huh.
that.
Yeah.
So that's 800. What is that? What 800 pounds?
No, that's euro.
800
It's a
euros.
little bit, yeah, that's basically $750, something like that. It's a little higher than a
Oh,
dollar.
900. Okay. $900 for a 600 square foot apartment? That's not bad. And this is in the capital?
Yeah, that's actually pretty high price, to be
Wow.
honest. Yeah.
It's pretty high?
Yeah, I mean, Voždovac, it's pretty good neighborhood in Belgrade, but
Oh, wow.
it's not the best, to
Do you
be
guys
honest.
use bidets?
No. I
It's
mean,
not common.
some people, yeah, but not common at all.
Okay. Do you have the kind of showers? So in other countries, they'll have showers where it's just like a big drain and like the whole room is the shower. Like you just wash yourself let me show you a Japanese bathroom.
Like a cow.
Like a cow. um something like it's hard to find one. But it's more like the entire thing. Yeah, that looks like that. I believe that flip is a
Mhm.
drain. This one right here. I've seen a lot of bathrooms. I've seen a lot of bathrooms. Um, doing
I'm not
this
gonna ask why.
because I'm looking at a lot of bathrums because I'm
That's pretty
spying on the
near
people
Meva.
using them. No, because I'm
Uh-huh.
I'm trying to like figure out like it's very enlightening of like someone's personal habits. Like in a lot of the Middle Eastern countries, there's bidets, or like a lot of countries with spicy food have bidets because they need to hose off the fire happening in their butt, or like stools, like squatty potties and stuff like that. Like that's interesting to me because it just exposes like what are you guys doing in there? Like I think of stuff like this. But this is
Yeah.
actually so obviously things are more very expensive in America. I would actually like to get your reaction on our horrible apartments. So let me just look up some apartments in Portland.
Yeah, I'm following a guy on YouTube that is checking the rents on New York. I'm not sure if he's actually famous, but he's like in the street and he's stopping people like, how much do you pay a rent in New York? And they say like 3,000. Can I see your apartment? And
Yeah.
they show the apartment. So
Now that's
yeah, I mean,
interesting. So you got those videos too? I wouldn't be surprised. New York is older than America. New York is a it's a city that was started when America was just a colony. It was a
mhm.
trading outpost that just continued to grow and grow and grow. If I'm getting that right, that might be slightly wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. So it doesn't surprise me that New York has an international influence. London is the same way. Um, but the fact that that thing, which is just like such a American problem, which is cost of living, and that you're getting those videos where people are touring their homes, which by the way, that stuff is insane. It is obscene. The square footage you get for like $4,000 a month, you live in a closet. Um, but I wanted to know, what do you typically look for in an apartment if you're to get one
Well, if I'm going to buy or I'm going to rent.
to rent? Like how many bed and bath?
Yeah, well, one bath, definitely. I
Okay.
mean, And I mean, it depends. If I'm looking just for me and my girlfriend, yeah, then one bedroom and like one living room with a nice kitchen. I mean, and a balcony. Balcony is really important to me, to be honest.
Okay.
Uh,
Do you smoke?
but yeah, yeah,
Is smoking common? Like, do you guys smoke a lot of cigarettes and stuff?
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the first thing that my girlfriend noticed when she came to Serbia. She said, "Well, basically all the people are smoking here."
Oh, you guys have hookah.
Yeah,
Is that like a
yeah.
common thing, or is that just a couple people smoke hookah?
That's like it's not a common thing. I mean, that we have a few places where you can try it,
Well,
but it's basically we say it's for the kids, you know. It's not for the real smokers.
it's for the kids. That's funny. Do you
Yeah,
guys
it's
vape?
like, you know. Yeah, 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 yeah. We have vape. We have basically when it comes to smoking, we have everything. I mean,
Do you guys have
is it
weed?
okay to smoke?
Do you guys have marijuana?
Yeah, not legally, but illegally,
You're,
yeah.
I could get you some, but
Yeah, are you buying or?
no, because I have so much weed. I have so much weed. It's so funny because like I mean my own family has had its issues with legality and weed. Like my I'm not trying to rat anybody out in my family, but some things have happened. Someone in my family was growing weed, and they had a hydroponic system, which is
Mhm.
like kind of it's a in early weed movies when weed was still illegal. That was like the primo setup. That's exactly what you want. Like once you have that, you could be a real drug dealer, a real money maker. Obviously, you could do it just for your own usage, which is what I believe. But then they admitted to me that like they just had to get it off their chest. Like Anthony, I'm selling marijuana. I'm selling and distributing it. And I was a kid at the time, and I was like, oh wow, okay. Does this mean my whoever this person is a bad person? But no, 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 not at all. I don't believe that one bit. I have a very different perspective on crime now. Um, but the amount of weed that they had, and then they had to give up because of their wrestling with whether or not it was good or bad, or if it and it clearly being illegal. Um, a couple years later, it became legal, and if he had stuck with it, he more than likely would have become a part of this like weed distribution thing. He could have been a millionaire by now. And I know a couple people, even in the Portland comedy scene, who are entrepreneurs who sold off their weed business for a good chunk of change, couple million, and now they're just kind of doing they like stand up, and so they're trying it out. And whenever I see them, and I'm seeing them after I just got off work, I'm just like, I hate you. I hate you
Did-
making weed
I
money.
could be you. I could
Yeah.
be you.
Well, what's just because this has been right in my face and I gotta talk about it. What's it like for gay people in Serbia?
It's awful.
It's
I
awful.
mean, yeah,
Okay.
you don't want to be gay in Serbia. That's uh, gay in Serbia. Yeah,
This
okay.
is
I like the
that's
Serb.
how I Google
Gay in
strong
Serbia.
attitudes against violent gay bashing. All
Strong.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I'm curious about this is because there are some travel websites that I've been to when I look at some countries. For instance, the Bahamas. The Bahamas is like an island. You know about the Bahamas, right?
Hmm,
It's
hmm.
it's very common travel destination, and gay people. It's not legal to be gay in the Bahamas. It's another country, even though it's very close to Florida and very close to the U.S. Gay people in America are very like outlandish and very like I'm gay, deal with it, and other countries don't like that, and so like there are people who are they go to these other countries and then they go missing, and it's like, well, did you check? Like, did you Google that? Like, you should probably, if you're gay going to another country, you should really look into that, because sometimes it's almost like if you're a woman traveling to another country, you should probably look and see how they treat women there. Like you might, if you're a gay woman going to, Saudi Arabia, you should probably Google a couple of things before you take
Like
that
tips.
flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I mean, if you're gay and you want to travel to Serbia, you should just know one thing, and that you don't have to say that out loud, like you mentioned. I mean, don't just come to serving and say I'm gay because I'm gonna punch you. I don't care. I mean, basically, I didn't even ask you if you're gay or not. I don't support it. I'm really open about that. I don't think that's a normal thing. I'm never gonna think that's a normal thing. I don't want my child tomorrow to grow and see two men kissing or two women kissing,
mm,
or or him. I'm not even gonna say, you know,
all the other stuff.
to
Yeah.
be married. Yeah, to be married or something like that. No, but
No, it's definitely been a very tough thing in America, even. Like, to be fair, growing up, like, from my perspective, I'm biracial. I'm half white, half Mexican. When I was in middle school, the president was black. And so I thought racism is over. Gay stuff is gonna be normal now. Like all this, I had this vision of progression where I'm like, oh, we're living in the future where everyone's trans, uh, everyone's black and trans and white and purple, and there is no more of this like you're this and I'm this and now we're and I don't like you for that. Like all sort of bigotry would be over, and that's not true. If anything, as I've gotten older, it's become clear. Bigotry's become way clearer to me. uh, Especially, I mean, being in the Pacific Northwest, like Washington, I think Oregon. Let me see, Oregon outlawed black people. Like black people were not allowed. Um, Provisional government. Let me see. Exclude in December 19th of 1844. They would be if blacks who tried to settle in Oregon would not be whipped. Instead, they would be forced to do public labor. So they just like they would not allow black people in Oregon, which is one of the reasons for this big turnover. And there have been a lot of horrible things, horrible civil rights things towards anyone who's not like white and straight in Washington and Oregon. And so there's been this massive overcorrection where it's like it's gone a little too far. But I think you have to do that to some degree because people will go out and just start beating up gay people like they're in the street and like whether or not they're being outwardly like strong about it or not, it I don't want anyone to get hurt, but but you need to know where you are. Like maybe if you're gonna get hurt here, you probably shouldn't be there. And there is this sort of rebellion and you know what's the right word, like this idea of like you tell me no, I'm gonna do that. Like fine, I'm still gonna go there and I'm gonna make you mad and I'm not gonna take responsibility for the consequences of that. And it's
like stubborn.
yes. Before we wrap up, there were a couple more things I wanted to ask. Um,
Sure.
do people go to the gym in Serbia?
Yeah, yeah.
Is that like
Basically,
a big deal?
that. Uh, how do you mean big deal?
Like, most people work out in America, I would say. Most people
Yeah,
I talk
yeah,
to some capacity, exercise.
yeah. Here, we're really. I mean, we're a small country. We have like 6 million people, maybe seven,
Still pretty big.
and we are really, really good in sports. So sports is something that when you're young, whether you're a girl or a boy, uh, it's really
Uh,
common that you are in some sports, basketball, football, volleyball, water polo, tennis, of course. I mean, it's really common that when you're young and you're still in primary school and high school, that you're in some kind of club and that you're after that, many people that, just it's kind of a life that you get used on, and after that, you just continue with the gym because
ooh, this guy's terrible at boxing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
pretty bad. Those are some
yeah.
terrible
Please,
uppercuts. It's his first
please
day.
cut that.
Eek. But I was gonna say this. I mean, this gym looks great. I was looking at gyms in Croatia, and they were awful. They looked really sad. I mean, but you guys actually have real weight. Like I can curl, I can lift kind of a lot. I'm a big guy, and so when I look at these other countries, and I'm like, the weight only goes up to 30 pounds, or I don't know what that is in kilogram, like 15 kilogram. Like
No, 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 no,
that's
no.
really
We
sad.
have serious
Yeah,
gyms
look,
here,
this guy
right?
looks serious. This guy looks legit. Let me see. Hold on, I want to look at some of the other gyms because I want to see if like people really. Yeah, she's working on her butt. That's America right there. You're welcome. That's our culture telling people to have bigger butts, and everyone
Go
around the
girl.
world goes to get bigger butts at the gym. Has that been something that you've noticed where like America, like Kim Kardashian made big butts a thing, and now everywhere else in the world they're like big butts rule. We got to get them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To be honest, here a big butt it's not mandatory, but for example, big lips. You
Big
know,
lips. Okay.
yeah, big lips is it's
No.
pretty common because you don't have to sweat about it. You just go and
Whoa,
make
she's
the big lips.
shredded.
Yeah, yeah, it's popular. I mean, we have. If I look through my window right now, I will see like three gyms. So yeah,
Three gyms. Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, there's
that's
a
something
ton
really.
of wow. Yeah, because I just wonder, like, I mean, the things that I like to do, could I do them over in Serbia? And definitely. I feel like I could
Yeah.
go there. I could take boxing classes because I like to box. I could find a punching bag. I could go lift weights. What's the food like?
The food is the best in the world, of course.
Best in the world?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
wow,
we
that
have
I thought you were
our
being sarcastic. That looks fantastic, actually.
yeah, I mean we have our cuisine and a lot of these traditional dishes are from our grandparents. So basically, uh, yeah, we eat a lot. That's something that I can notice, traveling across the Europe, and we really enjoy the food. Food is something really important in Serbia and
What is this?
in general hospitality. That's like cabbage, and in there is meat.
Fantastic. I want
Yeah,
some.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The food in Serbia is really, as I said, we
It looks
have like
Mediterranean.
this. Yeah, you can put kafana and Serbia to see that's like just from here. It's not with a C, it's with a K, but I think you will. It's like a restaurant, but it's not a
Ah,
restaurant. It's something in between because you have like music, you have a lot of people,
it's a
you have
social
these
environment.
yeah, traditional dishes, and it's something, we have our traditional beverage called rakia. That's something that, it's mandatory to have a bottle of two in your house. I mean, if you're a guest and if you come to my house and I don't have a rakia to give you, I mean, that's something really embarrassing. So
Is it? It's like a wine or it's a hard liquor?
hard liquor, it's really, yeah, it's like 70 or 60% of alcohol. It's
Oh
made
wow.
of fruits, yeah, and basically every grandparent here it knows how to make it. So
What's this thing in the middle?
which one?
This thing with like the white and there's like a little thing in the middle.
That's like a paprika. I'm not sure how they say it in English, but it's
Paprikash?
paprika. No, it's a vegetable, and I think there it's like white cheese. That's also
Oh, pepper?
yeah, that one, and white cheese.
Oh, it's
Uh,
a stuffed bell pepper. Okay, I get it.
yeah, 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 something like that.
A lot of bread. A lot of
A
carbs.
lot of bread, yeah, a lot of carbs. That's something that I mean, you know Novak Djokovic, right? Or not?
The what?
He's like the best tennis player in the world.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, he's from Serbia, and he actually wrote a book about the carbs because his family has the pizza restaurant, and he basically grew up on carbs, on pizza and bread. So basically, yeah,
I see him with his own pizza. He's got a pizza oven.
yeah, and basically he wrote a book where he said that Serbian people rely a lot on bread, and that because of the gluten and all that stuff, a lot of people are actually allergic to that. So yeah, I mean, you're totally right. We have a lot of bread, a lot of meat. For most of the people that are visiting our country, our food is really hard to digest. It's really
Huh.
hard. It's not spicy. It's not, that you cannot you're eating it, but it's really heavy. You feel tired after our traditional lunch. You feel like you want to sleep. You feel like, yeah, I just want to lay down.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up there. Thank you so much for your time. It's been great speaking with you. And in my next episode, Timor Leste. Goodbye.